closed door can feel like the end of the road. One moment everything looks possible, and the next moment a single word appears in front of you. No. A job application rejected. A message ignored. A plan that suddenly collapses. In those moments, rejection feels heavy. It feels personal. It feels like proof that something is wrong. Most people walk away from rejection with quiet disappointment. They lower their expectations. They become more careful. They stop trying as much. But history shows something very different. Many of the people who later changed their lives, built powerful careers, or created something meaningful, all faced rejection again and again before success ever arrived. Rejection was not the end of their story. It was the pressure that shaped them. Rejection has a strange power. It can destroy confidence, but it can also build an unusual kind of strength that comfort never creates. When everything goes smoothly, people rarely question themselves. They rarely grow. But rejection forces a person to pause and look deeper. It forces reflection. It forces change. This is why many psychologists describe rejection as one of the most powerful turning points in personal development. It exposes weaknesses that were invisible before. It reveals hidden opportunities that only appear when the original plan fails. The moment that looks like failure can quietly become the moment that begins transformation. There is also an interesting pattern that appears again and again in real life. Many of the doors people desperately wanted were actually the wrong doors for them. They only realized this later. A rejected job can push someone toward a career that fits them far better. A failed project can force someone to develop skills that later become extremely valuable. A relationship that ends can lead someone to a deeper understanding of themselves and the people they allow into their lives. In many cases, rejection works like a filter. It removes paths that were never meant to work in the first place. But most people never learn how to use rejection in this way. They see rejection as a signal to stop. They treat it as evidence that they are not capable. Over time, they become more cautious. They avoid risks. They stop taking chances that could change their lives. Slowly, they build invisible limits around themselves. And those limits feel safe, but they quietly reduce possibility. What they do not realize is that rejection is not always a verdict. Often it is simply information. It shows where improvement is needed. It shows which direction may be wrong. And sometimes it simply tests how determined someone truly is. Another lesser-known truth is that rejection can strengthen the mind in ways comfort never will. Every time a person faces rejection and continues moving forward, something changes inside. Fear begins to lose its power. Confidence slowly grows. The person begins to understand that rejection is not as dangerous as it once seemed. And once fear disappears, a new kind of freedom appears. People who are not afraid of rejection are willing to try things others avoid. They speak up more. They take opportunities others ignore. They approach challenges with a calm mind instead of hesitation. This shift alone can change the direction of an entire life. Even more surprising is how common rejection is among people who later become successful. Many famous entrepreneurs, writers, creators, and leaders were rejected repeatedly in the early stages of their journey. Their ideas were ignored, their work was criticized, their efforts were dismissed. But those moments did something important. They forced improvement, they forced persistence, they forced the development of resilience that later allowed them to handle far bigger challenges. Without rejection, that strength might never have developed. There is also a hidden psychological effect behind rejection that few people talk about. When someone experiences rejection and survives it, the brain begins to update its expectations. The next time rejection appears, the emotional shock becomes smaller. Over time, the mind becomes more stable and more disciplined. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. This is one reason why people who experience rejection early in life often develop stronger mental endurance later on. They learn that setbacks are temporary. They learn that progress rarely happens in a straight line. The real secret is not avoiding rejection. The real skill is learning how to use it. When rejection is viewed differently, it becomes a powerful tool. It can guide improvement, sharpen focus, reveal the wrong direction, and build resilience that prepares a person for larger opportunities ahead. Instead of breaking confidence, rejection can refine it. Instead of closing doors, rejection can quietly redirect the path towards something better. That is exactly what this video will explore. In the next few minutes, you will discover 12 powerful lessons about rejection that most people never learn. These lessons will show how rejection can become an advantage instead of a setback. You will see how rejection reveals hidden truths about growth, persistence, and self-control. You will also understand why many of the strongest and most successful individuals learn to treat rejection as valuable feedback rather than personal failure. Each lesson will uncover a deeper layer of how rejection shapes the mindset that leads to real progress. As these lessons unfold, a surprising pattern begins to appear. The same experiences that stop many people from moving forward are often the same experiences that push others toward their greatest achievements. The difference is not luck. The difference is perspective and the ability to transform rejection into motivation. By the end of this video, rejection may look completely different from how it looked before. Stay with this video until the end, because the final lesson reveals the most powerful shift of all. It explains why some individuals reach a point where rejection no longer controls their decisions or their confidence. That moment changes everything. When rejection loses its power, new possibilities begin to open. Welcome to our channel, where we explore psychology, self-improvement, and the hidden patterns behind personal growth. If you enjoy content that challenges the way you think and helps you build a stronger mindset, make sure to subscribe and join our community. Because sometimes the lessons that feel the most uncomfortable in life are the ones that quietly prepare us for the greatest breakthroughs. Rejection has a way of stripping away comfortable illusions. While praise and approval often hide weaknesses, rejection exposes reality with uncomfortable clarity. Many people move through life surrounded by assumptions about their abilities, their plans, and how others see them. These assumptions can feel solid, but they are often built on incomplete feedback. A rejection interrupts that illusion. It reveals the actual distance between where someone is and where they believe they are. That truth can sting at first, yet it is extremely valuable. Progress begins only when a person sees reality clearly. When a job application is rejected, it may reveal missing skills or experience that were overlooked before. When an idea is rejected, it may reveal flaws in the plan that were invisible during excitement. Rejection acts like a mirror that reflects the truth without decoration. Many people avoid that mirror because the reflection feels uncomfortable, but individuals who learn to study it carefully gain an advantage. They no longer waste time building dreams on assumptions. Instead, they start building their path on accurate understanding. And accurate understanding always becomes the foundation for real improvement. The mind reacts strongly when rejection appears. It can feel like an attack on identity, yet over time, repeated rejection builds a quiet emotional endurance that comfort never creates. A person who rarely experiences rejection may remain sensitive to even small criticism. Their confidence depends heavily on constant approval. When approval disappears, their emotional balance quickly collapses. On the other hand, people who regularly face rejection develop a different internal structure. Each experience forces them to process disappointment, manage frustration, and move forward anyway. This process slowly trains the mind to remain stable during pressure. Emotional strength grows through repeated exposure to difficulty. Just like muscles strengthen through resistance, the mind becomes stronger when it learns to recover from setbacks. Over time, rejection stops feeling like a personal disaster and begins to feel like a temporary event. That shift creates a powerful mental advantage. A person with emotional strength can continue working toward goals even when conditions become uncertain or discouraging. Rejection also acts as a powerful filter in relationships and social environments. Many connections in life appear supportive during easy moments, but their true nature becomes visible when challenges appear. When someone experiences rejection, failure, or loss, reactions from others begin to change. Some people quietly distance themselves, others lose interest or begin offering criticism instead of encouragement. At first, this behavior may feel disappointing, yet it reveals an important truth about the people surrounding us. Not everyone deserves long-term access to our time, energy, and attention. Rejection often removes individuals who are connected only through convenience or shared success. In many cases, this process protects a person from deeper disappointment later in life. When the wrong people leave, space appears for healthier relationships built on respect, honesty, and genuine support. Rejection quietly clears away connections that cannot survive real challenges, leaving behind those who truly value the person rather than the situation. Another hidden effect of rejection is the way it pushes individuals toward improvement. Comfort rarely creates urgency. When everything appears to work smoothly, people rarely feel motivated to analyze their actions deeply. Rejection interrupts that comfort and forces reflection. It raises a direct question that cannot easily be ignored. What could be done better next time? This question opens the door to growth. Instead of continuing with the same habits and strategies, a person begins examining weaknesses and identifying areas for development. A rejected proposal might encourage stronger preparation and clearer communication. A failed project might reveal missing knowledge or inefficient methods. Through this process, rejection becomes a teacher. It highlights the gap between current performance and potential ability. Those who choose to study this gap gain insight that others miss. Improvement rarely appears without honest feedback, and rejection often provides the most direct feedback available. Support also becomes easier to recognize during moments of rejection. Success tends to attract attention and approval from many directions. When achievements appear, people often gather around to share the excitement. Yet this attention does not always represent genuine belief or loyalty. True support becomes visible when circumstances become difficult. During rejection or failure, many voices become silent. Only a small number of individuals remain encouraging and present. These individuals reveal themselves through consistent actions rather than temporary enthusiasm. They offer honest advice, emotional stability, and continued belief even when progress slows. Recognizing these people becomes extremely valuable. Their presence creates a reliable support system that strengthens resilience during future challenges. Rejection, therefore, performs another quiet function. It separates temporary encouragement from genuine support and allows a person to understand which relationships truly matter. Another transformation begins when individuals stop seeking approval from every direction. Rejection often forces this shift. When someone tries to please everyone, they eventually face rejection from certain groups anyway. At that point, a realization slowly forms: universal approval is impossible. Every decision and every action will be welcomed by some people and rejected by others. Once this truth becomes clear, a powerful sense of independence can emerge. A person begins focusing less on external approval and more on internal standards. Decisions become guided by personal values rather than constant fear of criticism. This independence allows individuals to pursue goals that truly align with their interests and abilities. Rejection, therefore, plays a role in freeing people from the exhausting cycle of trying to satisfy every expectation. Instead of constantly adjusting themselves to gain acceptance, they begin developing a stable identity and direction. Persistence also grows through repeated rejection. Many achievements require extended effort across long periods of time. During that process, rejection appears frequently. Opportunities decline, plans fail, feedback becomes discouraging. Individuals who expect constant success often abandon their goals quickly after encountering these obstacles. Those who understand rejection differently continue moving forward despite the setbacks. They treat rejection as part of the journey rather than proof that the journey is impossible. This mindset creates extraordinary persistence. Progress continues step by step even when results remain uncertain. Over time, this persistence compounds into experience, skill, and opportunity. While others stop trying, the persistent individual remains active and engaged. Eventually, this steady effort begins producing visible results that appear sudden to outside observers, but are actually the outcome of long periods of perseverance. Confidence also evolves in an unexpected way through rejection. In the beginning, rejection often feels overwhelming. The emotional reaction may include embarrassment, disappointment, or doubt. However, repeated exposure gradually changes this response. The mind begins recognizing that rejection does not destroy identity or potential. Life continues, opportunities still exist, goals remain possible. This realization reduces the emotional intensity attached to rejection. Instead of interpreting it as a personal judgment, the individual begins seeing it as a single moment within a much larger process. Confidence grows from this perspective because fear loses its influence. The person understands that even if rejection appears again, they have already proven their ability to recover and continue. This quiet confidence becomes stronger than approval-based confidence because it is built on resilience rather than praise. Direction in life also becomes clearer through rejection. Many people follow paths based on expectations from society, family, or early ambitions that were never deeply examined. When rejection blocks those paths, it forces reconsideration. This moment of uncertainty can feel confusing at first, yet it opens the possibility for deeper self-reflection. A rejected opportunity might encourage someone to explore interests that were previously ignored. A failed career attempt might lead to discovering talents in a completely different field. In many stories of personal success, the original plan collapsed before the final direction became visible. Rejection therefore acts as a redirection system. It prevents individuals from continuing down paths that may not truly suit their strengths or passions. By closing certain doors, it quietly encourages exploration of others that might lead to greater fulfillment and effectiveness. Fear also loses strength when rejection becomes familiar. Fear often grows from uncertainty and imagination. When people anticipate rejection without experiencing it, they tend to imagine the worst possible consequences. This anticipation creates hesitation and avoidance. Yet once rejection occurs and life continues normally afterward, the imagined danger begins to fade. Each experience proves that rejection does not cause permanent damage. The emotional discomfort passes, daily routines return, new possibilities still appear. With each repetition, fear loses influence. Eventually, individuals reach a point where rejection no longer determines their decisions. They begin speaking openly, proposing ideas confidently, and pursuing opportunities without constant worry about negative responses. This fearless approach naturally increases the number of chances they encounter. Opportunities often appear for those who are willing to step forward without hesitation. Rejection also plays a powerful role in separating dreamers from individuals who take action. Many people hold ambitions and ideas that they discuss enthusiastically. However, when the possibility of rejection appears, hesitation begins. They delay action while waiting for perfect conditions or guaranteed success. Those who are willing to face rejection behave differently. They understand that every meaningful attempt includes risk. Instead of avoiding the possibility of rejection, they move forward with preparation and determination. Each attempt provides information, experience, and sometimes unexpected connections. Even unsuccessful efforts contribute to learning and development. Over time, these repeated attempts accumulate into progress. Observers often describe such individuals as fortunate or talented, yet their results frequently emerge from simple willingness to continue despite rejection. Perhaps the most interesting transformation appears when rejection begins revealing hidden opportunities. At first, rejection seems like the removal of a possibility. Something desired becomes unavailable. Yet as time passes, many individuals notice a surprising pattern. The rejected opportunity was not always the best option available. Its disappearance created space for a different path that eventually proved more rewarding. This pattern appears in careers, creative projects, business ventures, and personal relationships. A rejected proposal might inspire a more innovative idea. A missed opportunity might encourage the development of new skills that later open unexpected doors. In these situations, rejection functions less like an obstacle and more like a redirection toward a more suitable direction. The opportunity was always present but hidden behind the initial plan. This understanding changes the way rejection is interpreted. Instead of representing failure, it becomes part of a larger process of adjustment and discovery. Each rejection contains information that can refine strategies, clarify goals, and strengthen resilience. When individuals analyze rejection calmly, rather than reacting emotionally, they extract insights that accelerate improvement. The mind becomes more flexible and more strategic. Rather than repeating identical approaches, They experiment with new methods and perspectives. This adaptability increases the chances of eventual success because the person continues evolving rather than remaining stuck in a single approach. Over time, rejection begins shaping character in subtle ways. Individuals become more patient because they understand that progress may require multiple attempts. They become more disciplined because they recognize the importance of preparation. They become more observant because they pay closer attention to feedback and results. These qualities develop slowly through experience rather than through instruction. Rejection provides the environment where these qualities grow naturally. Another quiet effect emerges in the way individuals evaluate success itself. Before experiencing rejection, many people measure success through external recognition alone. Approval, praise, and acceptance become the primary indicators of achievement. After encountering rejection repeatedly, the perspective often changes. Internal progress becomes more meaningful. Learning, skill development, and personal growth gain importance even when immediate recognition does not appear. This shift creates a healthier and more sustainable motivation system. Effort continues because the process itself becomes valuable, not only the external reward. Rejection, therefore, influences far more than a single moment or decision. It shapes mindset, relationships, discipline, and personal direction. Each experience contributes to a deeper understanding of reality and personal capability. Instead of weakening determination, rejection can refine it. Instead of blocking progress, it can guide it. Instead of damaging confidence, it can strengthen it through resilience and self-awareness. The individuals who recognize this hidden potential begin interacting with rejection differently. They observe it carefully, extract lessons from it, and continue moving forward with greater clarity and strength. Rejection leaves a mark on every life. It arrives without warning and often feels unfair. Plans collapse, expectations disappear, and confidence can suddenly feel fragile. In those moments, rejection appears like a wall, standing in the way of progress. Yet time often reveals a deeper truth. Rejection is not simply a painful moment. It is one of life's most powerful teachers. It forces honesty when comfort would normally hide the truth. It builds strength in ways that easy success never can, and it quietly pushes people toward growth that would never happen if every door stayed open. Many of the strongest individuals you will ever meet were shaped by rejection. Not once, but many times. They were ignored, turned away, underestimated, and doubted. At first, those moments felt heavy and discouraging, but slowly something changed. Each rejection sharpened their focus. Each disappointment strengthened their patience. Each closed door forced them to look for another path. Over time, rejection stopped being a signal to quit. Instead, it became proof that they were moving, trying, and stepping into spaces where real progress happens. The truth is simple but powerful. A life without rejection usually means a life without risk. And a life without risk rarely leads to anything meaningful. Growth lives on the other side of uncertainty. Progress lives beyond comfort. Every attempt to improve, create, or achieve something important carries the possibility of rejection. But within that possibility also lives opportunity. When rejection appears, it is not always blocking the future. Sometimes it is quietly guiding it. There are moments in life when a door closes so firmly that it feels final. In those moments, it is easy to believe the path has ended, but life often works in unexpected ways. That closed door may have protected you from a direction that was never meant for you. It may have forced you to search for a path that better fits your strengths, your values, and your purpose. Many people only realize this years later when they look back and see how one rejection changed everything. Rejection builds resilience. It reveals truth. It strengthens the mind, it teaches patience and persistence, and most importantly, it prepares people for opportunities that require courage, because when someone learns that rejection cannot truly stop them, something powerful happens. Fear begins to lose its control. Confidence becomes quieter but stronger. The person becomes willing to try again, speak again, and move forward again. And that is where real transformation begins. So now I want to ask you something. Think about your own life for a moment. Was there a rejection that once felt painful but later turned into something positive? A job you did not get that pushed you toward a better opportunity? A door that closed that eventually led you to a new direction. A moment that felt like failure but later became the beginning of growth. Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else who is facing rejection right now. If you found value in this video, take a second to support the channel. Like this video so more people can discover it. Share it with someone who might need this message today. And if you enjoy content about psychology, self-improvement, and building a stronger mindset, make sure to subscribe to the channel and join our growing community. Because sometimes the moments that hurt the most become the lessons that shape the strongest version of who we are.